you? I hope you're well. I am well. My name is Onyiha Jean Dutz of the channel, The Making of a Chef. Have you subscribed? You need to, because if you want some good food and you also want to grow from a cook to a chef, then you need to be here. If you're a chef, congratulations. I respect all the work that goes into it and the fact that you've earned yourself the title chef. Big respect. So this is us still making our way. We would appreciate every tip you can give us. And so today we are making chicken cordon bleu, keto style, low carb style. Okay, so I'm going to introduce my ingredients, and I'll start here close to me. Some ham pieces, and I'm just using bits and pieces of ham. These are just circular pieces, and I have 2 slices of our beautiful American cheese, white in color, and I don't believe you can see when it's down here, but I'll take you through. And this is 1 egg that I'm going to beat with a fork, and I have here a ½ cup of almond flour. You already know that is what we're going to dredge in, because we can't use breadcrumbs, but I love the texture. It's so breadcrumby. Works for me right now. Unless I want to do something like a tortilla, then it will be a big problem. Okay, and I have here 2 pieces of chicken breast, but we are going to do 1 at a time. We'll just do 1. Okay, so I'm going to trim the fat a bit and just check it out well enough to see which side we are going to make a slit, because what we're going to do is stuff our chicken. Doesn't that sound delicious? Okay, so this is how it looks, right? Which side would you go with? A lot of people would say the straight side. I think the more uneven rounded side, just so that we find some access. And I'm going to have it top down so that I can go in with my knife. I'm using a paring knife. A slicing knife would be great also. Trying to think where mine is, so that, because I know it will just slide in, but let's just work with a paring knife. So we'll actually make a pocket. Okay, I won't have it totally open, but you know what, that would be a good idea to have it totally open, so we can smash it a bit and have even more space. Okay, so I'm just using my paring knife to make it as if filleting a chicken breast. Okay, and we're not cutting through, we just want it open. Okay, and that is the pocket we'll be using. I've actually done it in a very clever manner. I'm going to find something I can lay on it so that I can mash it, make it flatter. I don't have a saran wrap, so we are going to go in with this Ziploc. It's food safe. Just going to have it open. And laying it on our open chicken breast. Okay, I'm going to wipe my masher again. As far as kitchen tools go, this is a meat masher, and we are going to actually do that. Okay, I'm going to use a smooth side. We're just relying on the metal to just make our chicken flatter. Okay, if you're very challenged, you can use this, especially if you want to make a pattern on your beef. Okay, we don't want to do that. It's made as a heart shape. I'm going to keep that safely there for the next chicken breast. And what mashing does is just make our meat flatter and also extend it, so we'll have enough space for whatever we want to put. And so we'll start 1 with ham. I love the idea, if I start with cheese, then it kind of grabs onto the meat, yeah, so it doesn't just move around. Won't move around anyway. But so I'll lay the ham I have. You can use larger slices of ham. Okay, and I'm going to put as much as is needed to lay on the surface. Now that we've laid our ham out on the meat, we are going to add our cheese, and we are going to do 2 pieces. I'm going to do one towards the heart center because it's like a heart, and another one towards the bottom. And methinks I should just cut the edges towards the tapering end, just so that I don't have a cheese peeping out, because it will end up melting. Okay, so now, and I just want to wrap it. While containing everything, I'm going to pull out this Peking ham, and I've rolled it a couple of times. And I personally would use a kitchen twine if I had it, because I worry about the cheese melting out. But I'm going to tuck in as much as I can, and hopefully the egg and the almond flour will bind everything. And you know what? I'll use a toothpick at the end just to make sure my cheese doesn't melt. And okay, so at the end here, let me check out that seam. Yeah, it's peeking, so I'll just push it in and then sort of do a seam with the toothpick, and on the side similar thing. On the end. Okay, so these are good as long as you remember to remove them. Just make sure you wash enough, because in the kitchen you'll be touching a lot of things. I want to move this on the side so you can see what I do with the egg. And I'm just going to beat my egg. I haven't used any spices. I'm going to be adding some in the flour and some on the chicken, and it's just salt and pepper on the chicken. And I'm going to crack some more on the flour. Add some salt. Seasoning this flour ensures that you'll have flavor on your crust. Some paprika, flavor and color, and I want some garlic powder and a blend of herbs. I'm using Italian seasoning. I'm just going to mix that with my fingers. You can do that with a fork if you do so wish. And again, this flour is just like breadcrumbs, and that's a saving grace. My chicken is secured, so I'm just going to roll it in the egg. All over. Ensure that there is enough, and the flour, dredging on the flour like this will ensure that it gets a nice coating. And personally, if this flour is not enough, if the coating is not enough, I'll dredge again. You do that because you want a crispy edge. If the coating is thick, it gets crispier. Okay, And also 2 layers of egg and almond flour will ensure that you get more flavor. But you know what? I'll be baking this. I will not be frying it, so I don't want to add another layer. I want it to just be a nice thick coating like that. So here is our prepared low-carb chicken cordon bleu, and we're going to have it setting in the fridge for some time, about 30 minutes before we cook it. Reason why you want to have everything contained, especially the cheese, you want it to get firmer, you want the meat to get firmer, so that if you're putting it in oil, it will be good. We can use oil to cook our chicken, but I want to make sure it's well done. Hi guys, so it's Wanyiha once again, and now I'm cooking dinner, and dinner will be our chicken quarters, and I'm going to sprinkle my spice all over the chicken. I have here salt, pepper, mixed herbs in Italian seasoning, and a bit of garlic powder. So I do want to make my chicken on the grill and finish off in the oven. What I want is that grill flavor as well as the grill max. The ideal seasoning for this chicken would be just salt and pepper, because we have the smoky flavor, but we're still going to add some more flavor just to satisfy our watchers, who will ask why not add some spice. Some people love spice more than others, but I personally believe the spice is good, and some spices are quite medicinal, but the flavor also matters. You don't want to overpower any of your meat flavor. So some meats are best, if the cooking technique allows, you can add less spices. Like this is going to be a grill. So if you're doing a grill, or you want to do an open fire grill, a charcoal grill, then it's best you spice less, because that smoky flavor is what you want coming through, okay? But having said that, we'll still do that. I'm going to score my chicken thighs. Just get in there a bit, just cut right through the skin and a bit of the flesh. I'm using a slim paring knife for that. I don't like the sharpness. It's not as good as I would have liked, but that's okay. Actually, we can still do some incision on the drumstick. No harm. Very well. And one drumstick ended up being bigger than the other. You don't want to serve that to a group that is sitting together. So I'm going to use my clean hand to just drizzle some oil and lemon. I'm going in with olive oil because it's much thicker than my avocado oil from what I can see. Just drizzle that. Don't forget the chicken is also a bit oily. The lemon for flavor. This will be so good because it's a grill. And of course our spice. I want my hands dry so I can sprinkle with my fingers. That way I'll get to every point I want. We do want to see the beauty of spices on our meat. So just like that. Now our grill is hot. We're going to move over to the stove and get that started. Okay. blue chicken, and one is so pretty. The other one not so much. These have been in the fridge overnight, and so now we will finish cooking. And I just chose to cook this in the air fryer. We are going to cook them for 15 minutes on each side.
난 구름 위를 날고 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다